Multifamily Mindset
Podcast. Think bigger.
All right, my friends, welcome to another episode of the MFM Podcast. My name is Dallas Pruitt, where here on every Thursday episode, we dive into the mindset side of things because, let's face it, growing your best life, multifamily investing, real estate, transitions, becoming, unbecoming, learning, unlearning, like that process is not always the easiest. And so we strive to do the best job that we possibly can to help you simplify that process and break down some complex principles to become a lot more simple so that you can take better action on them and produce better results in your life and in your business. So today I wanted to talk in particular to the feeling of overwhelm that settles in for so many of us. Are you someone who is overwhelmed right now? Look, maybe you're a little bit overwhelmed and maybe you are feeling super overwhelmed. I want you to know something on today's episode as you're listening to this. I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not unique. You're not different. You're not weird. You're not crazy. You're not weak. What it is you're normal. You're very normal. That is a normal feeling when you strive to do great work in your life and achieve goals. When you sign up for the road and you take off on the road to achieving your goals, overwhelm is going to be a common feeling that creeps in, that settles in. It's completely normal. It's completely normal to have moments where the weight of all your responsibilities, not just inside of what it is you're striving to do here in multifamily investing or whatever other business you're striving to grow, in conjunction with the responsibilities you have as a father and a mother and a husband or a spouse or a wife. It's just completely normal to feel that way with all of that weight. But here's the thing. Overwhelm does not have to be your default state. Let me repeat that. Overwhelm does not have to be your default state. This is not something you have to stay stuck in. It doesn't have to be the majority of your time spent on this path, in that headspace, in that feeling. As driven individuals, which you are if you're listening to this podcast, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, especially if you're striving to keep family and your faith and your service in your community or whatever else a priority, right? I know what that feels like. It's all too common. I want you to remember something today, that the key to combating overwhelm actually lies in your ability to continuously nurture a growth mindset. So with this in mind, on today's episode, I want to share three tips that are going to help you navigate those moments when you just feel so overwhelmed. All right? Try to make these as actionable as possible, something that you can take and go apply starting today, starting this week, and not just apply once, but stay consistent with and come back to when you need it, because again, overwhelm is something that's going to continue to rear its head at times if you're striving to accomplish big goals in your life. All right, you ready? Here's number one. Number one is to pause and prioritize. When that sense of overwhelm, when it becomes all-consuming or even just starts to kind of trickle itself in, I want you to go to this. I want you to pause. I want you to use that as a trigger to remind yourself, okay, pause and prioritize. And what that means is to take a step back and assess what truly matters in the grand scheme of things. All too often, we get feeling like we're in a race. We fall victim to the false truth or the idea that, oh my gosh, I'm behind. This is a sprint and I've got to get out ahead. I've got to get this done. That tomorrow, yesterday, it should have gotten done. And the truth is this, you're only capable of so much, right? You only have so much time and energy in a day. Realistic expectations, holding yourself to a realistic standard, and stretching yourself incrementally in that space is important. And it's important to remind yourself that what you're building is not a sprint that is required to do that. It's an actual marathon. It's a long, long process. It's a long journey. You're not building for today only. You're building for tomorrow, months, years down the road. So make it a habit of breaking down your larger tasks into manageable chunks so you're not focusing on the grand, big, crazy goal. And instead, you're focusing on the step right in front of you and things that align with your goals and your values. Lucky for you, and I'll drop a little reference here. We'll include this link in the show description. Lucky for you, if you haven't gotten one already, we actually have a journal called the Think Bigger Journal that actually helps you to do this, to take action on this specific principle and strategy, as well as some other strategies and principles. So if you haven't gotten a Think Bigger Journal already and started that habit and made that tool part of your daily process, I would highly suggest that you follow the link in the show description today and go grab you a copy today. It's a pretty cool tool that you can not only just use alone, but you can use with your teams. You can use in the home with your partner, with your kids. It's amazing. All right, number two. Number two is to practice self-compassion. Look, this is not common for a lot of people. I believe that all too often we are our own worst enemy. We beat ourselves up. We hold ourselves to such an unrealistic standard, and then we just beat the heck out of ourselves when we don't meet it. Look, I believe this to be true in working with thousands of people over the course of my career at this point. And I just believe this to be true. I've seen it to play out. Truth. We're all doing the best that we possibly can with the resources we have. You have to literally remind yourself of that. You're doing the best you can. If you could do better, you would. That's what you're striving to do, is get 1% better every day. But don't beat yourself up for where you think you should be, right? That's not a healthy way. That's not a sustainable way to continuously grow your greatest work. Do your best and have some self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself as if you're somebody you truly care about, especially during those challenging times where setbacks and challenges and adversity really settle in, because they will. I always like to tell myself, I've got it up on a board. I've got it in my notes, in my journal. I reference it often. It's a constant reminder that I have to tell myself as a driven person is it's progress that I'm striving for, not perfection. That's the goal. That's the ultimate goal every day. And then number 3, again, keeping these episodes condensed as much as we possibly can. Number 3 is to seek community and support. Look, here's the truth. Achieving big goals can feel and seem very lonely at times. As an entrepreneur myself who left a career where I did have community and team to spend a lot of time working on my own during certain stretches of the last 4 years, I know what it feels like to have that feeling of overwhelm settle in and then be amplified even more by feeling very lonely. And here's the truth. You do not have to go through this process alone. Whether it is friends that you trust who you know they're going to shoot you straight and love you for who you are and what you're striving to become and accomplish, or if there's a family member that gets that, or coaches and mentors like many of you have, like me. Being open and honest about your struggles with these people and seeking the proper guidance provides the necessary, I will repeat this, the necessary clarity, relief, and help. Yes, H-E-L-P. You need help to feed real progress in creating the type of life you know you're capable of. It's not easy work, my friends. It is not. Trust me. I'm in the thick of it myself and have been for quite some time. It's not easy work. A lot of it doesn't get that much easier. Some of it does. But what is interesting is with the proper help, support, mentorship, you learn to get better. That's what happens. So if you haven't already, join the MFM community. There's lots of different ways in which you can join and become a part of this community. If you're a first-time listener, if you're just showing up, many of you are already involved. Again, we'll drop some links in the show descriptions today of how you can continue to connect and receive support from the MFM community if you are somebody looking to get into the multifamily space and grow, again, an amazing investment opportunity for your future and get more involved in real estate on this level. Or if you're simply just wanting to learn how to think bigger and live better in other arenas of your life, please come join us. We want you a part of our community, and we want to support you in your journey and throughout your process. So here's the truth, my friends. You can transform overwhelm into opportunity. Believe that. Keep following along here on the podcast for more ideas, insight, and strategies for how you can not just conquer overwhelm, but how you can defeat distraction and so many other things, even in the face of adversity, so that you can continue to think bigger and live better, not only in the multifamily space, but in many other, if not all, arenas of your life. We're super grateful to have you here on the podcast on this journey with us. Remember, my friends, you are your most powerful tool for positive change, and you're very capable. You're more capable. You're capable of more than what you think. Have a great day, and we'll see you guys back here on the podcast next week.
Multifamily Mindset
Podcast. Think bigger.